Hey everyone, welcome back. So I woke up this morning with a flurry of emails from the viewers, all about the Trump administration's brilliant new idea, which is to collect the last 5 years of your social media history if you want to enter the United States. At first I thought it was a joke. Then I searched around for a little bit and I actually said, holy shit, this is actually a legit proposal. So we're going to talk about that in this video. Today's backdrop comes from my mom, another photo from their Eastern Canada trip they did back in September. These shots are taken in North Rusical on Prince Edward Island. Thanks again, Mom, for sending these over. Alright, let's get started. Wait, before I get started, stick around to the end. I have a hilarious video from our friend Claire Blackwood about the whole social media requirement situation. Claire, you absolutely nailed it in this video, and I'm sure my viewers are going to love it as much as I did. First up, a quick TLDR summary from Aaron Parnas on the situation.
We have some big news right now. The Trump administration may soon require any foreign tourists coming to the United States of America to disclose 5 years of social media history. Yes, this is real. A new proposal put forth on the Federal Register by the Customs and Border Patrol, according to NBC News, plans to require all foreign tourists that are trying to enter the United States of America to provide mandatory new data to the United States. And it's regardless of whether or not they're coming in from countries that require visas. These include residents from the United Kingdom, Germany, and elsewhere. In addition to 5 years of your social media history, you're going to have to provide email addresses, telephone numbers in the last 5 years, the addresses and names of your family members. By the way, this is coming just months before, actually, before the World Cup next year, and then a couple years before the Olympics in 2 years. So it's setting the stage for everyone coming for the World Cup and the Olympics to have to provide all your social media data for the past 5 years and your addresses and family members and more. Now, the public has 60 days to comment on this proposal. So we'll see what happens. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news that you need to know about. There'll be much more to come soon.
You know, I used to get a lot of flack from the haters saying I'm too chicken shit to show my identity, but that because I choose to stay anonymous, I'm not even Canadian. Well, this new proposal just reaffirms my decision and tells me that I made the right choice. We're not stupid. The reason the Trump administration wants to snoop through your social media history is to find anyone who may be saying negative things about the Trump administration, which is probably a good portion of the entire globe. But what happened to freedom of expression? I guess that only applies if you're saying positive things about the orange guy. Okay, let's move on to a report from CBS on this topic.
The Trump administration is continuing its effort to tighten the U.S. border. The Department of Homeland Security says it plans to require visa-free tourists from dozens of countries to provide a 5-year social media history in order to enter the country. CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez joins us live with reporting on this announcement. Camilo, how will this process actually work?
Good morning, Mugo. Citizens of more than 40 countries enrolled in the visa waiver program can typically come here to the U.S. for up to 90 days for tourism or business travel. That list of countries includes many European nations and U.S. allies like Australia, Japan, and New Zealand. And while their citizens typically do not need visas to travel to the U.S., they still need to submit an application online using a system known as ESTA before entering the country.
For us in Canada, we don't have to worry about this ESTA or ESTA application form to get into the US, at least for now. But for those of you in Europe, Australia, and other countries that do need to fill out this form, how do you feel about potentially having to show your social media history for the last 5 years? And not only that, your relatives and your friends' details, as well as every email you had in the past. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. Use my platform to vent your frustration. I don't mind. Oh, and if you're against the Trump regime and you have not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button below. Now, one thing I have to point out is that it's not just you being exposed. When I say exposed, it means your entire social media footprint. If you have posts or videos where you tagged friends or they tagged you, and if any of that content is anti-Trump, your friend or family member is now known to the US government without them ever needing to go through CBP. This is just a stupid idea on all fronts.
The Trump administration, Mugo, is now proposing to overhaul that system, mainly to require applicants from these countries to share additional information. That includes, as you noted, their social media history for the past 5 years, also emails that they have used for the past 10 years, and the personal information of direct family members, including their phone numbers. The Trump administration, Mugo, says the changes are designed to comply with an executive order that the president says will make it easier for the U.S. to deny entry to people who may pose a threat to national security.
They may say it's for national security, but we all know they are really searching for social media posts or images like these. I have a shitload of these on my phone and on my social media. Not directly from me, but it's in my history. And I'm sure many of you do as well.
Or public safety, but you are already seeing, Mugo, some concerns out there that the proposed changes could negatively impact tourism here to the U.S., especially months before the U.S. hosts the World Cup alongside Canada and Mexico next summer.
Oh, yeah. So, Camille, how does this fit into the administration's border changes into immigration vetting?
Well, the Trump administration, Mugo, has mounted an aggressive campaign to expand immigration vetting and screening across the American immigration system, including for people who are already here in the States and are trying to remain here legally through applications for asylum or a green card or U.S. citizenship, the naturalization process.
I wonder how many people in the US right now who are applying for citizenship are scrubbing their social media clean at the moment. Because I know I would be if I was in their position. The land of the free, right?
As USCIS calls it. And one of those changes is that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, has instructed officials at that agency to investigate the social media history of applicants, including, Mugo, to identify any views or activities that are considered to be anti-American. But there are many concerns from advocates and privacy experts about what that actually entails and whether that could include protected speech. The Trump administration again says that all these changes are designed to protect the integrity of the immigration system and to enhance national security and public safety. But of course, there are many concerns about this potentially being a slippery slope.
I really hope this stunt that the US government is pulling ends up being the final nail in the coffin for anyone who is still on the fence about boycotting the United States. I don't know how many more warning signs you actually need. You might not be the one posting social media memes about JD Vance and anti-Trump images, but if your friends are and they tagged you in them, I bet you will have a great multi-hour meeting with these guys. So think wisely. Now let's hear from a non-US or Canadian media outlet on this. This report comes out of France.
Now, if you've criticized the US government online, be warned. President Donald Trump is planning to require visa-exempt tourists to submit their social media histories from the past 5 years before entering the United States. Travelers from 42 countries, including France, Britain, Australia, and Japan, are being asked to provide personal, family, and biometric data through the ESTA system. The public is being invited to comment on the proposal over the next 60 days, part of a wider crackdown on migration and security.
Now, he mentioned that the public has been asked to comment on this new policy and give their feedback. I'm sure we will see a lot of US citizens speaking out heavily against this ridiculous policy. But do not forget, there will also be millions of these guys cheering for it, gladly saying, yes, let's do it, and we want immigrants and terrorists out. And remind everyone, because what may seem completely ridiculous to the rest of the world, these guys here believe that Trump can never do anything wrong. And this is one of the main reasons why, even after Trump is gone, I will not go to the US. I do not want to be surrounded by these guys, and I also do not want to fund their restaurants or their businesses.
Let's bring in France 24's Washington correspondent Fraser Jackson. Fraser, how unprecedented is this? And just take me through what will actually prevent people from entering into the United States.
Well, the US Customs and Border Protection has proposed this major expansion of the information required for an ESTA application, which is used by tourists from those visa waiver program countries. That means countries where travelers can stay in the US for up to 90 days without needing to get a visa. Now, for the last few years, there's been an option to include your social media handles on those applications, but under this proposed change, which still has not gone into law yet, that would now become mandatory, and people's profiles would have to be made public as well, meaning that officers could comb through up to 5 years of data that people have posted online. They're also going to be asking in this application for phone numbers and email addresses used within the last 5 years, as well as names, dates of birth, places of birth, residences, and telephone numbers of immediate family members as well. Now, the process will also move away from the website that CBP has and move to a mobile app, which will mean that features like passport chip verification and mandatory live selfie check and facial recognition will all now be able to be used as well.
This is why in my past videos, when it comes to biometric data for other countries, I really have no problem with it. Hell, I went to another Southeast Asia country last week, did the fingerprint and biometric scans, and it did not bother me at all. But with the United States, it is clear that they are weaponizing the data. It does not matter if it's biometric data, entry and exit data, your location data from the highways and roads. Now it's your social media data. Whatever data they're gathering from you, it is being weaponized whether you like it or not.
It's worth noting, though, that these changes are already in effect for anyone looking to get an immigrant class visa to the US or anyone coming here on a work or study visa, but this marks a noted shift from the administration, with regular tourists from typically allied nations now coming under increased scrutiny. According to one immigration law office, the kind of things that officials are looking for include expressions of hostility towards the US government, comments interpreted as support for extremist groups, online affiliations with flagged organizations, as well as inconsistencies between online content and submitted application materials. But really, the scope for what is considered against US interest is what is concerning some groups now.
And I'm sure that my channel, along with any other channel north or south of the border, or even overseas, if our channels are critical of the Trump administration, we're probably now considered a viable quote-unquote threat to the US government. I honestly don't know if I should be offended that I'm considered a threat, or proud that I'm considered a threat. I'm going to lean towards the latter, because me and my 2 cats are not going to stand up for this bullshit any longer. Oh yeah, and my wife too. Her as well.
Visa waiver program covers over 40 countries, including most European nations, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, South Korea, and more. And the administration says that the goal is to enhance security. But again, experts worrying it's likely to further chill tourism here in the US, which is already down this year, a decline that so far has cost the US economy tens of billions of dollars just since January.
Wow, it's stunning to think of this turn of events nonetheless. Fraser Jackson, thank you so much.
If there was any hope for the tourist industry in the US moving forward, it will be gone if this policy gets put into place. Imagine what Governor Mills in Maine must be thinking right now. She has been begging Canadians to come back, saying things are safe. And then this ridiculous policy comes crashing into the room like the Kool-Aid Man. Now I want to show this clip from another Canadian TikTok creator to get his point of view on this.
So now Donald Trump is saying that any tourists entering the United States have to provide 5 years of their social media history, along with any phone numbers, addresses, or even email addresses they've used in the last 10 years, and possibly even provide the names, addresses, and phone numbers of their family members just to enter the country. Now, I can go to China, Russia, North Korea right now and not have to provide that. But the freest country in the world is saying that that's a requirement just to enter the country because they don't want people who don't like the president. He is that fragile. Now, I'm wondering, sitting up here in Canada, how many people still want to travel to the United States and why? What is it about the United States that is so alluring that you're willing to step into an authoritarian country who clearly doesn't want you there? Why would you do that?
And I ask the same question every time I hear someone or see someone say they're heading to the United States. There is nothing alluring to me anymore across the border. Sure, I would have loved to play at some of the prestige golf courses like Pebble Beach, but that's not even a consideration for me anymore. How can people see what's going on right now and still be okay with spending their hard-earned money in the United States, a country that wants to take over Canada, where 77 million of their citizens want to lock you up, hate you, and are racist as fuck? I really don't know. I guess the ones who still go carry the same values as what's going on at the moment. Like this guy who I used to look up to. Now I want to move on and show a lighter side of the mess we're in, and the latest policy that's making us go what the fuck. I spoke to Claire last night, and she gave me the green light to feature her latest video on my channel. If you recall, she previously made a skit about the requirements going into the United States. And today, she created another one about this new social media mess that we're in. Before I start, I encourage everyone to head over to her channel and subscribe. She's a Canadian actor out of Toronto who, like us, loves our country. So please, head over to her channel and subscribe. Alright, I'll play the video.
Good evening, White House Press Corps. You are all awful, and I wish you were dead. I am here today to discuss the President's proposed plan to force all tourists to provide customs with 5 years of their social media history before we let them into our beautiful land of free speech, so that we can be sure that none of them have ever said anything mean about Mr. Trump ever in their pathetic little lives. Many of you whiny little bitches are mad about this, so let me be clear. Wanting to visit the United States by way of an El Salvadorian torture prison is a privilege, not a right. If any of you disagree, pack your bags. You just got a one-way ticket to a beautiful El Salvadorian vacation. checking the following social media sites for treasonous content. Instagram. If we see one black square from 2020, we will assume you participated in the Black Lives Apparently Matter More Than White People's Lives riots, and you will be disappeared. Twitter. If you have ever criticized Elon Musk, I think the president is on good terms with him as of 15 minutes ago. So that's a definite one-way trip to torture prison. Blue Sky. Anyone on Blue Sky is automatically banned forever. It is a left-wing echo chamber of scum and villainy, and everyone on it is an enemy of the state. TikTok. Any hint of 15-second anti-American hate speech, and rest assured, you will be dancing your stupid little dances in a jail cell forever. And Facebook. If you are still on Facebook, we assume that you're old enough that you've become a conservative, so you can come in. We will also be asking for your emails, your phone numbers, your family's voting history, your high school friend group's sexual preferences, your pet's political affiliations, and your organ donor status for reasons. And Canadians, you can still come in for now, because your Prime Minister is old, white, conservative, and nice to Mr. Trump. I personally hope that changes, because I hate you most of all. You're nice and polite and don't throw brown children in jail after tearing them away from their homes in the middle of the night. All qualities I hate. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Gates. Yes, your girlfriends will be allowed to cross the border freely, provided they get their parents' permission. That's all for now. Thank you, everyone. I hope to never see your stupid, ugly faces again. All hail President Trump.
I literally laughed out loud at that Matt Gaetz joke. Thank you, Claire, for helping us keep some humor through all the crap that 2025 has thrown at us. So to close off this video, I have to ask, for those of you still insisting on going to the US, what would actually make you stop going? Do you need a long, painful talk with CBP? Would you need to be hit with hateful comments from MAGA? Or is it simply because you agree with what's going on? You are free to do whatever you want. Just don't complain to anyone north of the border if something happens to you. That's all I got for today's video. If you found any value in anything I said, help out the channel by hitting the like and subscribe button below. And also go subscribe to Claire's channel too. Share it with your friends and share it with your family as well. And if you're still watching up to this point, I truly thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.